So we are currently 4 games into the Chicago Bears season. First 4 games under Ben Johnson. Bears now coming off a bye week. And I think the biggest thing that, Bears fans wanted to see going into this season was improvement from Caleb Williams. Because when you invest such high draft capital, number one pick on a quarterback, you want to see that investment come to fruition. And I think that there were some positives in Caleb Williams' first season, no doubt. But there was still a lot left that I think the Bears needed to see to really have that confidence that he could be their quarterback going forward. And while last year he just, pretty solid touchdown interception ratio, that did not lead to the Bears being effective offensively. They're the 28th scoring offense in the NFL. So when you make that decision to bring in Ben Johnson from an NFC North rival, the hope and the expectation is that he can bring his offense to Chicago and elevate Caleb Williams, elevate his play, and make that number one pick that the Bears spent on Caleb Williams worth it in the long run. And so now I want to look at how Caleb Williams has played so far this season, comparing it to last year just through 4 games. And honestly, he has been much improved. The first game, it was a little shaky, but since then, he has played pretty good football overall. And just a few interesting stats here. He's gone from the 24th passer rating in the NFL to the 18th passer rating in the NFL. Slight bump there. One major bump has been from 31st in QBR at 43.3 all the way up to 12th at QBR at 64.9. And QBR also has to do with rushing as well, and he has that ability. And so he's gotten really much better in those 2 areas. And I think the biggest thing is, it's awesome if your quarterback's playing well, but does that lead to overall success offensively when it comes to, how many points you're scoring per game? And currently the Bears have the 11th scoring offense in the NFL from 28th last season. So already through 4 games, you are seeing that Ben Johnson has elevated this Chicago Bears offense. Now, they are sitting at 2-2. It's not like they've dominated. And if we look at their 2 wins, one against the Raiders, barely, and that's a really, really bad team. You look at the game against the Cowboys, that's a much better team than the Raiders, but they have a really bad defense. And so even though this offense is looking much better, the one downside is the defense has taken a massive dip from last season. Last season, the Bears had the 13th best scoring defense, and currently they have the 28th scoring defense. So it's unfortunate for the Bears offense that has taken a step forward to have the defense now basically dragging them down. But I would say that for the Bears, the number one thing this year that they needed to ensure was that Caleb Williams was getting better. Because if he'd been playing similar as he did to last year, if you hadn't seen any kind of improvement just when it comes to offensively points scored, you'd have to start to debate, is this really the guy, or are we going to need to make some kind of change in the future and try to find another quarterback to bring in to Chicago? And the Bears have had so much bad luck at quarterback over the years. And there are a lot of things with Caleb Williams, when it came to accuracy problems last year, that really did make me think that I wasn't sure if he was going to be the guy. And so far this year, he still hasn't been great when it comes to just overall accuracy. He was 27th in completion percentage over expected last year. He's now at 33rd in completion percentage over expected. So there's still a lot of areas for Caleb Williams to improve his game. But I think what we've seen so far in 4 games has to give the Bears front office and the Bears organization some confidence moving forward, because it takes time for new coordinators, new coaches to come in and really be able to install the offense they want to install. And I would assume that 4 weeks from now, after the Bears have played 4 more games into the season, you'd assume this offense will be playing even better just the more time that they get together and the more that this Bears offense is really able to, hone in on exactly what Ben Johnson is asking them to do. And so I would say that it's a relative success so far for Caleb Williams, just because he does look like he has the ability to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. Now, can he be, a top 5, top 10 guy? I'm not sure. I still feel like he's in that, middle tier quarterback range. The one benefit with Caleb Williams is he barely puts the ball in harm's way. And, looking at his stats so far this season, he has a total of 8 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. And so if your quarterback's just playing clean football, I mean, that's a huge part of it. You have guys like Geno Smith throwing, I think he has like 9 interceptions so far this year. So just to see Caleb Williams keeping the ball out of harm's way, he is, struggling a little bit when it comes to accuracy. But all in all, it's been a pretty good year for Caleb, just comparing it to last year. Now, he's not a top 5, top 10 quarterback, I would say, yet, but things are moving in the right direction. The thing is for the Bears, when it comes to them having the overall success, like, can this be a playoff team? I'm not so sure, just because of how badly this defense has looked so far. And if this defense was, a top 10 unit, then this probably would be a very competitive Bears team. I just think that with the way they're playing so far, unless they see a major improvement, I don't think this is going to be a playoff team. But those are my thoughts on the Bears right now, Caleb Williams right now. If you want more NFL content, feel free to subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys next time.